Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you guys so much for this opportunity to be able to present my business idea. And before I start, I wanted to ask you guys, do any of you, by a show of hands, do any of you own a piece of jewelry or love jewelry? Wow, I see there's a lot of you who love jewelry. Me, myself, I love jewelry. And as you can tell, I'm wearing a whole bunch of jewelry right now. So that's why my business is called Eco Gems, and my name is Precious Karuga. Okay, so as you may or may not know, the jewelry that we usually have and wear every single day is made from precious metals like gold, silver, and platinum. In order to attain these metals, you have to mine for them, and the mining of these metals has a very negative effect on our environment. So I just asked myself, can jewelry just be made from recyclable materials to help the environment? Yes, it can. So for teens and young adults who desire affordable and eco-friendly jewelry, EcoGems provides fashionable, stylish jewelry pieces made from everyday recyclable materials because everyone deserves to rock some bling while keeping the earth clean. So for marketing, my price based on the cost of goods and my labor, I would place necklaces for $15, bracelets for $10, and earrings for $5. Just because the cost of goods, my materials are just recyclable materials, so they're easily attainable. They're not, you don't have to pay for them necessarily. But for the cost of like hooks and strings and stuff like that, that would go into my decision for pricing my products and also my labor. They're not the easiest to make. The products are not the easiest to make, but that's why I placed my products at that price. Okay, so for my actual product, I would be selling upcycled, eco-friendly jewelry, primarily made from bottle caps, water bottles, and aluminum can tabs. Just anything just everyday recyclable materials that you see and that you use and that you can use again to make jewelry. So it would be mainly DIY, and I would also sell beaded bracelets as well because usually beaded bracelets aren't made from metals, and that's what I'm trying to stay away from. I actually have a prototype here. If you guys want to see, it's a very it's a prototype. It's not the best, but this is like the basic idea of what I would want to make. As you can tell, it's aluminum can tabs with a ribbon. So that's what the basic idea. Now for my promotion, I will be promoting heavily on social media because my target audience is youth and young adults, and that's just such an accessible way to be able to access them and promote my product to them. And I will also promote on at school as well. Like I said, my target audience is youth and young adults, so I just feel that that would be a great way to promote my product. um, the places that I will actually sell my product will be social media because, like I said, youth and social media, there's just like Facebook Market. You can sell on Instagram. It's very easy to sell on there, and especially in this day and age. So I will use that to my advantage. I will also sell, maybe when my business continues to grow, I can become a vendor at like a thrift store pop-up. As you may or may not know, here in Bakersfield, we have thrift store pop-ups like at the Kern County Flea Market, where there's just vendors who sell thrifted clothing, and just everything that is sold there is under the umbrella of helping the environment, eco-friendly, that kind of theme. So I know that if I were to sell my product there, I would have a great success over there. And then also farmers markets, like I said, it's just helping the umbrella of helping the environment, and that would be the place that I would want to sell. So for my potential impact, through my product of EcoGems, I would want to help the youth and young adults who desire affordable and stylish jewelry, who just don't want to keep knowing that they're hurting the environment with their jewelry that are made from metals that are hurting the environment. I would also want to help create a cleaner society by reusing and upcycling materials and would otherwise end up in the landfill and turn polluting our earth. And I would also want to bring joy to all of my customers through this. Now, as I finish off, I would like you all to remember everyone deserves to rock some bling while keeping the earth clean. So, who's ready to do their part and purchase an eco gem today? Any questions?
That was great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So what I'm going to do is remove your spotlight. And if you want to stop sharing your presentation so that we can see everyone's face, I'm going to ask if any of our judges have any questions for Miss Precious at this time. And wonderful presentation, by the way.
Thank you.
I have a question. Great presentation. I wanted to follow up with, you said that you would, you indicated that your marketing place would be primarily your Instagram, and the place you would sell would be on social media as well. So, and you thought that would be very easy. Tell me, what about that makes you think that that would make the selling of the product very easy?
Well, I saw it as being easy just because in this day and age, at least for my target audience, they're always on social media, especially like TikTok. If you're just scrolling and scrolling, you'll see the product and you'll be like, "Ooh, what's this product?" And then you'll find it. It's just easier to find rather than if I like went out and was just like promoting it there. So that's why I saw it as an easy way to sell the product as well.
So, but, okay, and that answers a little bit, but what's specific about the way you're going to be promoting or whatever would draw them to the interest in your product? I.e., kind of to go further with what you said, there are a lot of things there on TikTok and the scrolling and the this and that. What about it? What are you planning, or what do you have in mind that's going to say, oh, wow, this is something I'm interested in? What's going to make them stop at your product and kind of get the wow factor in there?
Well, posting, and I would probably post how I make them and do like tutorials on how I make them. So then people are like, "Oh, this is kind of cool how it's being made," and it forms that connection with the consumer, and they're like, "Wow, it's like from the environment. It's not just like your everyday piece of jewelry. It's something different."
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions from our judges?
Yes, I have a few questions. That was an amazing presentation. I really like your business plan. My few questions would be, with your business, do you plan on doing your promotion from your personal Instagram page, or do you plan on creating like a separate business page for whatever social media outlets you want to promote on?
Oh no, yes, I will definitely create a separate one. So then it's like it seems more professional when it's separate and it's not just my personal. And then hopefully I would probably promote it on my I would promote that Instagram account on my own personal account so that people will see the account and they'll be like, "Oh, this is made by Precious. Let me follow it." And then they'll promote it themselves.
Okay. And then with you selling through Facebook Marketplace, do you plan to keep your business local, or do you plan to also include shipping options when you get on like TikTok Shop and Facebook Marketplace?
Yeah, I think I will start out local and then I'll grow into that, like shipping and stuff like that when it grows and popularity increases. That's where the business will go.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And I have a question. As business owners, we're often, thinking about our competitors. And so are there any other companies or businesses that are in this space of creating creating jewelry from recyclable materials? And if so, who are they?
I don't know any of them personally. I probably should have looked that up, but I'm sure there are uh, competitors. But I feel that since I'm doing it, well, I'll start off locally, and I'll use those out. Sorry, I'll use the social media, and I'll use those different outlets to create a personal brand from myself because it'll be like myself selling it. I'll be able to create a connection and I'll be able to sell my product.
Thank you. Time
Hi,
for one
Precious.
question. Yes.
Oh, I have one question. First of all, I do want to say that was a wonderful presentation. I appreciate what you brought forth. I love the idea of something that's sustainable, environmentally sustainable. I wanted to ask you, I know that you gave us your positioning on the fact that it's an environmental product, it has some impact, but is that source of a passion for you or is this something that you felt that you could do as something that you could make and capitalizing on your skill set, or do you genuinely have a passion and purpose for sustainable practices in our environment?
I would say it's a little bit of both actually, because I've always been passionate about things that help the environment, like eating healthier, like alternatives, thrifting, and taking those alternatives and not just hurting the environment. I would also say that I saw it as like something that I would be able to do because I'm a very creative person and I've made jewelry before. So I didn't see it as something that would be difficult to learn to do. So that's why I was like, I love the idea.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I have one more question, if possible.
Yes, absolutely.
So the prototype that you showed us, the bracelet, how long did it take you to create the prototype?
Not long actually. Maybe since it's a prototype and it's very maybe not the best. I made this like a long time ago. So I would say based on my memory, I would say it wasn't a long time, maybe 10 minutes, 10 to 15. Mm-hmm.
Would you show it again, please? Can you lift it
Okay.
up a little bit higher? And that is a bracelet or a necklace?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Nice.
my hands are, my wrists are small, but yeah, that's
If you
basically
had
what it
to,
is.
if you had to assume based on the prototype when you were to create the actual product for the bracelet, on
Yes.
average, how long would you assume that it might take you to create one bracelet per se?
I think because I would want to make it a good quality bracelet, maybe 30 minutes to like an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I have one last question. You said that you made the bracelet a while ago. Was this
Yeah.
an idea that you had before, or meaning a while ago when we first started the challenge?
I don't think I ever had the idea before. But I did this like when I was younger, like a child. And then I found this when I was like going through my stuff and I was like, wait, what if I could like this could be my idea. I can create a business that's just eco-friendly jewelry in general. And this was just like an arts and crafts thing. So I was like, this is like the idea that I'm trying to get at. And hopefully for my business, it would be more good quality material, good quality products.
Hi, my name is Dreon Kemp, and my company is Intelligia Tutoring. Before I get into the meat and potatoes of the presentation, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Dreon Kemp. I am a Ridgeview High School senior. I have a 4.3 GPA that I have maintained throughout my 2 years as a senior and junior. I plan to be a nurse anesthesiologist in the future. I'm currently deciding between Howard University and CSU Long Beach. I am a former coach for Golden Empire Youth Tackle Football League and cheerleading, and I am a Leaders in Life Executive Board member. And I have participated in a multitude of AP and honors courses, which I enjoy to do. Here's just an overview of the presentation. I'll be going through the statistics that drew me to start my business. I'll be introducing my business, Intelligia Tutoring, the demographics that I'm targeting, as well as my plan to reach those people, the services that I offer, as well as their prices, and what in my mind led me to price that way, and the advantages and impact of my business as a whole. Okay, so according to a study from the U.S. Career Institute from 2018 and 2019, Kern County had the second lowest high school graduation rate in all of the U.S. And that's alarming to me because we're the second worst. Like, oh my gosh, like we need to fix that. And as someone who loves to learn, I want to spread my knowledge to other students and let them know that they have resources out there so that we're not second lowest. We want to be the best. Intelligia Tutoring offers affordable Kern County-based tutoring for grades 3rd through 11th on science, mathematics, and English courses, including grammar-specific courses and chemistry. I offer online and in-person options, and my business model is focused on mentorship, education, and community. So as said before, my business targets students 3rd through 11th grade, as well as the parents of those students. In the Kern County area specifically. And I plan to reach those clients through social media such as Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and local library bulletin boards, as well as contacting education centers, word of mouth, going to promote through my neighborhood and school gatherings such as book fairs and college expos and things like that. In terms of the services that my business offers, I offer in-person tutoring, $21 an hour. My lessons are planned out, they're one-on-one with in-depth and clear explanations for the student. And for in-person tutoring options, I offer a free 30-minute consultation for first-time clients, just so we can get to know each other and make sure that it's a good fit. And for people who don't want a long-term tutoring plan, I offer individual walkthrough videos, $5 to $15, depending on the complexity and the difficulty of the problem. And the client picks that problem, and I offer a voiceover explicit steps for like my entire process solving the problem so that they can replicate that on their own. And I offer essay proofreading for $25 each essay, $10 for each page after 3. And I check spelling, grammar, readability, coherence, and tone. And I offer suggestions for higher vocab and sentence structure diversity, just to make the person have the opportunity to put forward the best work that they possibly can. In terms of my price composition, I've priced my products that way because of the things that I put into the product, like my mental labor, the time I put in, the materials I offer, such as pencils, snacks, accommodations for chaperones for in-person, and time and mental labor mostly go into the online options. And affordability is a relatively big point for my pricing model, because I want my customer base to be able to afford my services, because my business is to help them. And if they can't afford it, then I can't help them. One of the 3 advantages of choosing my business over other tutoring businesses in the area are my affordability. Most tutoring businesses I've seen have charged $50 to $70 an hour for tutoring, and I decided to charge around $21, nothing over $20 for the majority of my individual tutoring experiences, because I want people in the community to be able to afford my services, because I want to help them. My other 2 points of advantage are relatability and reliability. I grew up in this community. I care about this community. I care about your student. And I feel like that's important as a tutor, to have someone that you know cares about your child's future. My point of impact for Intelligia tutoring is individualized educational support and better study habits for our students to make sure they're successful in their futures and they go into the workforce as better educated and more capable. I want the students of today impact our future. So making sure that they're good and that they understand what's happening in their schooling right now has a huge impact on our future as a society as a whole. And I want to positively impact that. Well, that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your time. I'll open the floor to questions, but that's all from me.
Thank you so much, Drian. That was amazing. If you could go on and stop sharing your screen so that we can have everyone visible. I am going to give the floor to our judges because I know that there are some questions.
Drian, I have a question. First of all, I want to say I really appreciate your presentation of your business idea. I love the impact. I love the feasibility of it. The only question I have is, where will the services take place? Are they online primarily? Or are you going to meet up with them at a library? I mean, how are you supporting them? Are there multiple ways of doing that? Or is it just online services? Or are you meeting them after school? Are they coming to your house? How are you servicing your potential clients?
All right, so thank you for your question, but that depends entirely on the client, depends on their comfortability, because I want them to be in a space where they feel comfortable to learn. So we can meet up at the library, we can meet up at their house, we can meet up at my house. It depends on what they want, like as a student, what makes them feel more comfortable. I do have online options, but I have online and in person for the comfortability of the client.
Awesome, thank you for that.
Mhm.
Thank you. Any other questions from our judges?
Hi, Drian. That was a really amazing presentation. I think your business plan was very well thought out. I have a couple of questions. So as far as marketing goes, have you considered partnering with any elementary schools or high schools in the area to see if they don't already have a tutoring program, if that is something that they will be able to or willing to basically push out to their families or students? Or is that something that you had not yet considered?
I haven't considered partnership specifically, but I know that specifically with downtown school and Ridgeview High School, I have like personal connections to them and the students that attend those schools as well as the faculty. So I was going to start there and ask them for to be able to advertise at like their events and things like that. But I hadn't considered like an actual business partnership point.
Okay. And then I have another question. Besides your like your personal academics, which 4.3 GPA is very impressive. Do you have any practice, especially with more younger grades? I know you said you started third grade, where with like walking through problems, just because I feel as you get older, it can get easy to accidentally give the answer unintentionally when it comes to tutoring, instead of giving the tools needed to solve it for themselves. I know you said you do the voiceovers, but do you have practice with any like younger students, or if you have younger siblings, walking them through problems that they might be having difficulty with that are very simple to you?
Yes. So in the past, I had started tutoring for my cousins and such for like third and fourth grades. I have a 13-year-old brother. I've been helping him with his work for a very long time. And he does try to play me and act like he doesn't know what's going on. So I feel like I know how to handle those situations pretty well because of that experience. And I do help my brother who is in kindergarten, I believe. Yeah, he's in kindergarten. But I don't it would end up being more like a babysitting type of job at that point, and I'm just there to help them learn. Like, yes, I'm there as a mentor, but I'm not being paid for like childcare services. And at that, like at ages younger than third grade, where they're no longer, really at ages younger than third grade, they're still like they need like, I'm not sure how to phrase it, but third graders, they're aware of what they're doing. They know, like they're cognizant of what's happening. So I feel like that was a good age cutoff for that because I can teach them and I don't have to worry about parenting them.
Yeah, I teach kindergarten, so I definitely understand. And then my last question was, I saw when you broke down like your different how you price everything and why you chose the price that you did. And when in regards to materials, so like different manipulatives that they might need to use to solve the problems, or even just pencils, paper, how have you been paying for items like that? Or is your school willing to donate some items to you? How has that been going when you've tutored in the past?
Okay, when I tutored in the past, they usually had their own materials, but for some of the situations, I just had to use materials that I had at home or like make them by myself, like the base 10 blocks, if you know what those are, like the hundreds, the tens and ones. I've had to make those by myself for tutoring just to like help out a student. And I'm willing to do that, but that is extra work that I have to put in, and be um I want to be realistic in terms of my pricing because I want the work that I put in to be acknowledged in the price.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Drian. You did say that you know that you have competitors who are charging as much as $50 an hour for services that you would provide at $21 an hour. And I think that that is amazing that you want to make it affordable to be able to reach more individuals. But if I'm a parent and I have a student or a child, what makes you different, or why would I want to select you to tutor my child versus going to Kumon or one of the other established tutoring companies?
So I believe personally that established tutoring companies kind of lose the community touch and like the personal like relatability. Like I grew up here, I know a lot of the people here, a lot of the students. I want to make a personal connection with the students that I'm helping. I want them to know that I care about them. And I feel like once it becomes a corporation and like a big business with multiple employees, that touch is kind of lost. But with me, it's just me. And I want to get to know your student and I want to help them succeed. So I feel like that puts me a step above those companies in that regard.
Thank you. We have time for.
Okay. Hi, my name is Corey Crumpton. I am a sophomore that attends West High School, and at this time, I don't know exactly what college I want to go to, but right now I'm looking at Florida A&M, Texas A&M, Howard, Stanford, or UC Davis, and in the future, I want to be a family physician assistant. My business is for everyone of all ages that may have ripped clothing and need a stitch repair or want creative custom designs on their choice of clothing. Co Stitch provides customers a place to fix their simple rips and put their imaginations on clothing with a colorful stitch because everyone can relate to having ripped clothes, not finding a clothing design they want in a store, or wanting to make their own. My business is a stitching business called Co Stitch. The reason I came up with this is because stitching is a productive hobby that takes creativity, and I'm a creative person. I took stitching classes in the fourth grade at my school as an elective program where we learned beginning stitching techniques. Throughout the years, I have upgraded from a mini sewing machine to an actual one, which I rarely use and I want to put it to use. And stitching is very helpful to others and it will make a successful business. A lot of people don't know the difference between stitching and sewing. So, stitching mainly focuses on the process of creating stitches by interlocking thread through fabric to join pieces together. And sewing is a category that includes various activities that involve stitching fabric together. So the categories of sewing involves hand stitching, machine stitching, serging, and overlocking. And the most popular sewing techniques are hand stitching and machine stitching. So in conclusion, stitching is a product of sewing. So on this slide, I have a picture of what hand stitching would look like. You would use a thread and a needle versus a sewing machine, which is actually a faster process of hand stitching. There's different types of stitching techniques. There is the running stitch, the basket stitch, the back stitch, the invisible stitch, the catch stitch, the whip stitch, and the blanket stitch. And I also have what designs would look like using hand stitching methods and what it would look like using a sewing machine. And there is various colors of thread. The products I would sell are shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, tote bags, pillows, napkins, scarves, beanies, and hats. And these are everyday wear things, accessories, or decorative things. My business would start with family, and as people see and hear about my business, it will spread and I'll have more customers. I will also post it on social media since things spread fast on that app and it will get more people to be aware. Since my products are custom made, they will be sold from my home. For stitching repairs, my prices would range from $8 to $15, and stitching repairs would be stitching up small holes or reapplying pieces like buttons. And this is because this type of repairs doesn't take long, but it will use supplies that need to be replaced to keep my business going. And for custom stitching designs, it will range from $20 to $35, depending on what design the person may want on their choice of clothing. And I came up with this because using a sewing machine can be hard and it also takes up more thread that has to be replaced and it takes up time. To come up with my prices for stitching repairs and custom designs, I actually researched what people that already have a business like this charge for these type of things. And this is a pillow I made last year in science for my project. The task was to create something with LED lights. So I made a decorative pillow and two of the butterflies light up. So my business for stitching repairs, it would help others because majority of people don't know how to sew or stitch. Everyone or almost everyone has pieces of clothing that are ripped and can be repaired, and most people don't want to throw their favorite clothing away. For sewing designs, it is a unique design a person may want. It shows one's likes or interest, and it could be used for events, everyday wear, or at-home decorations. Thank you, and that is my presentation.
Thank you so much, Corey. Wonderful job. I'm going to ask you to stop sharing your presentation, and I'm going to remove the spotlight so that we can all see you. And I'm going to give the floor to our judges, who I'm sure have questions.
Hi, Corey. Thank you for a great presentation. I love the idea of stitching. When I was listening to you, I began to think about the customization of it and the potential. So I want to ask you, what potential do you see? Do you see it as just repairing clothing, or like where do you see the business going and taking off? Like where do you see it?
So I would see people using my business as a place to go to either repair their clothing. It could be to stitch up small clothes or reapply buttons or things of that nature, or to even have a piece of clothing like a t-shirt. And if they want a design, I could do that for them.
Mm-hmm. Now, what if I came to you with a very elaborate stitching idea, and I noticed that your price range went, I want to say $15 to $35. So if I had this elaborate idea in my head that I wanted you to produce for me that would probably take up several hours of your time, would you still charge me $35?
I would increase the price because it would take up more time, use more thread, and for my prices, I would look at the design and what they want, like if it's a tote bag, a sweatshirt, and then I would tell them the price then.
Thank you.
Hi, Corey. I really
Hi.
enjoyed your presentation and I really like the pillow that you made. That was very cute. My questions are, double-sided question. For like a simple stitching repair, on average, how long would you say it takes you to replace a button or stitch up a rip in a jean?
I would say like 3 to 5 minutes. It really doesn't take long.
Okay. And then for like a custom design, like some of the models you showed with the sweatshirts, I'm not sure if you've already made one of those, but if you haven't, how long would you assume that it might how long would you assume it might take you to make something like that?
So for the custom designs, I would use the sewing machine and I would like predict it would use 15 to 30 minutes because you would have to like flip the shirt or sweatshirt when you're using the sewing machine and change out your colors of threads and stuff.
Okay. And then my other question, so not for custom design, of course, but for more so like the simple stitching repairs, like rips or buttons, what sets you apart from what would make someone want to say, oh, I want to go to Co-Stitch instead of the alterations place that's down the street from my house?
So I'm a starting business. This you could just hand it to me at home. I'll get it done as fast as possible instead of going in and you might have to come back and get it like after a few days. So it's a reliable source. It's quick and easy, and I'll get it back as fast as possible.
Okay. Thank you.
So I know that you mentioned that you would start first with family and friends and referrals, and that way you also mentioned social media. Do you know what platform you would be using for this?
I would use Instagram or TikTok since they're the most popular apps.
And can you elaborate a little bit more on what would you do exactly to
So I
promote
would
on
promote
Instagram?
for TikTok, I would create videos. There's a lot of people that have businesses would create videos saying what they do or promote their products of what they made, and you just tag like for you page and millions of people will see it. And I might even put the link in the bio for if I had a business page or even my Instagram page. And for on Instagram, I would take a picture and let it go, like tag something so it will go to the explore page where people could go and explore different things.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Yes. Hi, Corey. Very good presentation. I'm curious, your pricing seems very, very reasonable. We'll say it like that. What do you see as your profit that you're going to be making when you let's say that you even charge someone at what you said was your top dollar, at least that you have there, $35. When you're thinking about the amount of time it would take you to create that custom item or whatever, what do you see as your pricing on one item that possibly you charge your top dollar that you shared with us?
So the question is like, what would be my most high price item?
No, what do you see as your profit? There's going to be some costs involved in what you're doing, right? And then
Yes.
your time is worth something, right? The time that it's going to take you to do that. And
Mm-hmm.
so when you think about all those things that you put into it, what do you see as the amount out of that $35, which is really your profit, i.e. that you're going to be able to say, okay, it cost me this, my supplies were this much, my time was valued at this much. And when I add all that up, what do you have left out of that $35 that you get to say, woohoo, here's my profit?
Okay, so thread, I have a whole bunch of thread, but when you purchase more, I think thread costs between $3 to $5. So if I had like 5 customers and they all want to purchase a sweatshirt, I would still have thread left over because it's a big roll. So I would say so 35, I have 30 after that. And I would not purchase like the sweatshirt or tote bag for my customer. So I would not have to spend money on that. So I'll say I will have from $30 to $25 left.
Okay, you said you would not have to purchase it. So you're saying they would bring their sweatshirt themselves for you to
Yeah, they will
custom.
come to me with what they want to be designed.
I have a question. So with that, I know you said when you start promoting on TikTok that you'll put the link in your bio for when you have a website for them to go to the website. So if someone were to go to your website, say they live in Texas and they found you on TikTok, but they're like, oh, I want this tote bag that I saw you design. Would you then have them purchase the tote bag, or if they already have one, send it to you and then you send it back? Or would you then consider purchasing it and just raising the price to also include the cost of whatever you were designing for them?
Since they're not in town, I would purchase the tote bag for them and just I would add the price of the tote bag to for the cost of their design.
Okay.
Corey, I know this has been asked before, and I want to ask it a little bit differently. And it is because we know that there are alterations on every corner. We know that we can go get some things done. But you explained in your presentation your passion for the stitch and how you've learned about these various stitching, right? The whip stitch, the Basta switch, whatever, the stitch, right? So you've got all these stitches, so what I want to know is, do you see yourself as the local alteration person, or do you see something unique and original about what you would offer?
So I'm doing this for like something to have a business. So if I do become somebody that a person really goes to, then I'll really put my time and effort in it. But right now, I see myself as a person that somebody could just go to. But for myself, I would make myself like a lot of products I would sell to improve. And if I see that my stuff that I'm selling or my designs or that type of stuff is improving, then I'll really consider actually doing this.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, I want to follow up with that. So in a way, if I'm understanding this correctly, you're doing something that you enjoy doing. So do you see it more as a hobby, something fun to do, as opposed to something where you're looking at it to be making money? Yes.
I see this as a hobby because I really do enjoy stitching. I did last year for a project. I showed people how to stitch to my class as a how-to video. So it is something that I enjoy as a hobby.
Which is always a good thing when you're doing a business, to do something that you enjoy. So you have the right idea there. Good presentation.
Yes.
Thank you.
All righty. Well, Corey, it is obvious.
So my business, as you can see, is Joy. The reason I decided to choose this name involves Joy being my middle name and the feeling of joy my product brings people. But we will get more into detail about that later. So let's see. A little bit about me. You already know my middle name, but my full name is Mariah Joy Riggins, and I am 16 years old. My school is Independence High School, where I am currently a junior. I am in many different clubs, such as ASB, where we are currently planning prom right now. So I am very busy and don't have much free time, but when I do, I enjoy doing word searches. So What generated this idea was I asked myself, why do sports teams and schools often wear the same uniform or clothing? I believe it's to show how everyone in these colors or wearing the design is in union, to allow everyone to understand they are a community and make up one body. So if I were able to create a design that supports that bond in a society full of dismay, um, I believe it would really make a difference. So our clothes represent who we are. And so if a t-shirt can result in a positive outcome, I believe joy can bring joy one design at a time. So the characteristics of joy can is really something important to me because I feel God has really blessed me with the gift of spreading positivity and life, and it is something I really genuinely enjoy doing, which ties into my mission here at Shirts by Joy to provide people with custom designs to allow unity, you'll be hearing that word a lot, and fellowship through t-shirts. But now that you've heard my mission, you may be wondering what service to expect. So what to expect from my product is the service of guaranteed high quality t-shirt material. Each design will be created by hand to the best of my ability. Each design would be made based on the group's idea and their wants and their opinions is what allows my product to be successful. But who would these groups be, you may be asking? Um, High school club students, as well as their teachers, advisors, or coaches. But some clubs might include robotics, school spirit, associated student body, regular sports teams, or out of season club sports, just to name a few. Since I am currently in high school, it would be effortless for me to be able to reach them, making flyers such as I often do in ASB or being on it being through a Instagram social media page are both very common contact resources. Also, the reason why I included not just students, but their advisors is due to club students who wouldn't only be making the decisions for the club ultimately, yet advisors are also needed to approve purchases by students of what they may want. So advisors' opinions are also very valuable because their signature is needed for the purchase order forms. But returning back to sports, I remember when I was in track, no matter how the weather was outside, I could always look up in the stadium and see my family. And family is forever. So undoubtedly supportive families who want a design representing the sport or club sport their child is a part of is another way I am looking to reach the community. When it comes to the cost of everything, it involves, as you can see, the heat transfer vinyl needed, plain cotton t-shirts, and most importantly, the finished product. So each price is listed below each image with a few conditions. For example, the vinyl cost may vary depending on how big the design creation is, or regular shirt cost may vary depending on as the size increases, but it's not too much to worry about. Since my target market is students, once I create the shirts, I would want to be really hands-on with my deliveries and would ask where the most convenient place would be for students or the group to obtain their shirts. School would most likely be the most standard place starting out because my customers would be my peers. When it comes to sports teams, the location of the games could be another possible place I would drop off the deliveries of the shirts because I wouldn't mind having to travel a little bit. What also allows my product to be realistic for myself to develop into a real business, if I ever wish to, includes my experience in this field already. My mother has a Cricut and a heat press, and I used to create shirts and develop designs with her. I would often help her when doing these tasks, and we still have all the functional materials needed to create shirts. So I can create a business off of it without any trouble. But most importantly, it was an effortless way for me to bond with my family and especially my mother, which is why you can see a picture of my mom and I. There would be days where we'd be working on shirts for hours, but it would always be pretty quick because we would have our extended family come out and help. And we made shirts for our church, conferences, the YPD department, which is the young people department, and even just going Black Friday shopping as a family. So it's really safe to say that I believe that there's a lot of memories behind these shirts, and I believe that everyone should share those memories and have the same positive experiences. So I touched a little bit talking about my target market, but getting the word out to about my business and marketing would be one of my short-term goals. Allowing your business to become known, of course, increases your customer base. The idea of expanding my business to outside and at-home small business, to obtaining my own creating location building actually came from the lady I interviewed a couple months ago for my local Black-owned business assignment. But one of the main things that stuck out to me was the need for her to expand her business because she couldn't provide the services for home at her home anymore since her company, her clients were growing so much. So when I finally get the manufacturing building due to my business becoming so vast, I would know that I've reached my long-term goal and that I've set for myself. But even after all this information, in any business, I believe you should always be ready for counter arguments against your business and your product, which is why I have already done it for you. So some struggles I may face in my business include people feeling my shirts may lack the individual uniqueness of a person. But I believe wearing the same shirt or design shouldn't always be taken as a strict uniform sense. I believe when everyone is in favor of what they're wearing, it allows people to gain a sense of comfort. For a sports team, for example, everyone has put in the same amount of effort to get to where they are today. Or maybe for a debate team, everyone has endured the same amount of uncertainty or success. Whatever it is, they're doing it together. And to kind of expand on this a little bit more, the positive impact my business joy ties back into who I am and the change I want to make in the world. It includes the feeling of not being alone. And what is that called? Being in unity, knowing whatever they're doing, they're not alone in it. When we are confident in our clothes, we feel good about ourselves, especially when knowing everyone surrounding you is in the same t-shirt design that everyone's agreed upon. So before I end, just for my incredible judges, I have provided you with VIP access to incredible images of my skills. So the image on the left is actually images of my brand logo. I thought it would be important to include a visual example of my abilities to really turn this idea into a reality. And the image on the right includes the crown I will be winning at the end of the competition. But in all, I really made these to really remember my experiences I've had with Miss Fashionetta because it has really impacted my life so far. But this now concludes my presentation. I deeply appreciate everyone listening to me so attentively to what I had to say, as well as remembering shirts with joy for you to enjoy. But I also want to thank you for everyone's time and to be here today. And I am now ready for any questions you may have.
Thank you so much, Mariah. That was amazing. Go on and stop sharing your screen so that you can see everyone's face.
Okay.
And I'm going to take the spotlight
Okay.
off of you as well. And I'm going to open the floor to our judges. Questions for Mariah.
I'm Mariah. I
Hello.
really like the presentation. I think you were very prepared in regards to everything that you would need, breaking down the prices for us before we even had to ask. One of my questions will be in your price breakdown. I saw you said like the total price was $14 per shirt, and then it was $5 for the vinyl press and $4 for the t-shirt. So how long does it take you to make one shirt per se?
So I would say it really varies because so the process to make the shirt, you have to create the design, and that depends on how complex the design may be. If there's more detail in the design or there's less detail in the design. But it really all depends on the design. And then after that, you have to weed out the design and like really like pick out everything. But after you do all of that, it becomes like an assembly line, and you're able to put the design on the shirt, heat press it, and then keep going. So I really think it depends on how big you may want the design um, to be created. But yeah. I enjoy it though.
So just make sure I'm understanding. So like creating the design, weeding it out and everything, that only has to be done the first time. And then you're able to just keep going. You don't have to, well, I know creating the design, you only have to create it once. But
Yeah,
like pulling it apart off the transfer and everything, that only has to be done the once, or it has to be done for every shirt.
every shirt. Every
Okay.
shirt does, yes.
Okay. And then are you only planning on selling shirts to groups? I know unity is a really big thing for you, and making sure like when you are presenting shirts to sports teams or clubs that there is a sense of like community and unity. But would you also be willing to sell if someone was like, oh, I just want one shirt for me or just two shirts?
Oh, of course. I would be 100% open to that. I just feel that um for my product, for it to become popular and known, selling to a group would be a good way to show my product off in multiple individuals instead of just one. But of course, there would be many opportunities for me to create a design for just one person if they wish.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
So Mariah, as a new business, you actually have a leg up on maybe some others who are new. You have a lot of the initial costs, the costs for the Cricut, the costs for the press, even the knowledge, right? You already have that.
Mhm.
So talk to me about your creative process. If someone comes to you, the swim team comes to you and they say that they give you maybe some basic information, but they want you to design the image or design the graphic. Are you using Canva? Are you using
Well, there's
Adobe? What are you?
Yes. So I could use Canva if I wanted to, but in reality, there's on the Cricut, there's a Cricut website where you
Mhm.
have to develop the design. And I feel like it would be easier because I would just have to take the design from there in order to transfer it to the Cricut for it to start cutting it out. But I think I really want the design to really come down to what the person wants. If they don't know what they want, obviously I would try to lead them in the best way I could. But I feel like that's really what makes the shirts unique, is that it's exactly what the customer wants for their whole envisionment of what they what am I trying to say? The design, yes. The
So
design.
you're not offering a graphic design in terms of coming up with the design. You expect them to kind of come with it already prepared, at least in their mind.
Yeah, in a way. I can obviously, if they have a type of an idea, I could create it for them. I often do on Canva, but yes, ultimately, if they wanted a certain design, then I would ask them for it. Yes.
Thank you. Any other questions for Mariah?
I have another question. So is the $14 do you plan on that being your starting cost for shirts? So say someone wants a shirt with just 3 words on it. Would that be your $14? Or is that going to be your overall cost? Or how do you plan on upcharging for more complicated designs or things that maybe somebody wants 5 different colors on their vinyl transfer? How do you plan on increasing your prices to balance that out?
I see. So, I believe that I chose the price of $14 because at the same time it kind of gives me a little bit of wiggle room because like for a general shirt, if we do the math, is like $5 and $4. It's typically around like $9, and I put it at 14, so I could also make profit myself. But also, if there's a problem with they have multiple vinyl, or they have because if you get bigger shirts, they tend to cost more. So there's a little bit of wiggle room with that $14, so I'll be able to cover it. So that's like the basic number of for both for any type of shirt that I would make.
So you would keep the price the same and just use the 14 would not change. Even if it was a more complicated design, you would use whatever room you put in there for yourself to offset that cost.
Well, I think, let me think. Oh yes, okay. I see what you're saying. So I would manipulate it up a little bit more depending on how complicated it is. But
Okay.
I feel like just starting off, since I am a new business, I would keep it at the 14 until the designs start getting more complex.
Okay. Thank you.
So I have a follow-up question to that, Mariah. You indicated that you would take orders from individuals who wanted just a single t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Would that make a difference in their price?
No, ma'am, it would not.
Okay, and why is that?
Because that's the price for a single t-shirt and not for a group t-shirt. So it would, so if it was a group, each individual t-shirt would cost the $14. So if someone just wanted one t-shirt, it's $14 regardless.
So there isn't a difference in the amount of work that is required of you in doing one versus doing 20?
Yes, but how do I say it? So like so if I did it for like a sports team, each different person would have to pay the $14 because that's just the basic cost for the t-shirt. But if it was just one person, they would only have to pay the $14, if that makes sense. I hope that answers your question.
Well, let me ask it maybe a little different. What I'm trying to get at is it going to require you to do anything more, or will your cost change when you're having to do this shirt for one as opposed to when you're doing something for many and they're going to be the same? Because you talked about having the shirt, the idea of the shirt for a team is that they have the unity and everybody's the same and what have you. So I'm saying, is it going to cost you, is your cost for doing the shirt, is it going to be any different if I just come in off the street and say, hey, I need this is my custom design, I want you to, or this is what I want, and design me a shirt, and then you're just doing one, as opposed to if someone comes in, here's my design, I need 20.
Mm-hmm. No, I wouldn't change the price.
Okay.
Hi, Mariah. I have a question. First, I want to say I enjoyed your presentation,
Thank you.
and your and how you presented with such great confidence. Um, Building off of what was previously asked, about you noticed in the first couple of slides, you mentioned high quality materials. So
Mhm.
explain to me a little bit about the high quality materials. Like what would set you apart if you're using those high quality materials?
Well, I find that when the type of vinyl and shirt material that we used really played a different factor when it comes to like just regular t-shirts. So, what's it called? The brand Hands.
Mm-hmm. Haynes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes. So that material of t-shirt was very easy for the vinyl to go on it, as well as it's called, let me think, it's called the easy weed vinyl. So, because sometimes when you're pulling off the design, it gets stuck between the excess vinyl. So that type of vinyl makes the design much easier to go on. So it's a much better quality than other vinyls that may be used.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And the last question is how if you happen to pursue this long term, or your hopes if it launches and it goes well, how do you plan on getting the word out? I mean, I know it's going to be naturally on the backs of people's, the shirt be worn in huge settings, but how do you plan to market it and get your name out? And I don't know if maybe I missed it, but that's why I'm asking.
Yes. So I think I did mention around campus I would make posters and flyers of my business, as well as like making an Instagram page, because that's very popular nowadays, of spreading information of like small businesses as well. And then it's really cool because I love um, the thing about high school is when people do stuff at one school, it often continues to the next school in the district. So I feel like that way, like teachers would talk about it and everything. So if anyone ever needed a shirt for anything, they would know who to call.
Okay, thank you.
I have another question, Mariah. You indicated that when you talked about shirts that you've made in the past, or when you do it, that family comes and everybody gets on board and does it together, and does that as a family activity, and it's fun. In terms of getting your orders out, let's say you had a large order, do you anticipate that you would be doing these shirts? Do you anticipate having helpers, or what's your idea of how you would get your product out? And I'm going to throw in with that, what do you believe will be your turnaround time to get it back to your customers?
Well, that's a good question. So, it depends on the schedule my family has. I would try, since it was my business, I would try to do it myself, and not really bother them with it, even though they do know how to do it. But if they were willing to help, obviously, the more the merrier. But in terms of turnaround time, it really depends on how many there is. So, like, if there was like 10 shirts maybe a week, if it was more like 20, maybe two. It all really depends on how many shirts they have and how many different layers of vinyl they want on the shirt, like the type of design.
Okay. And then if I could follow up one more and this has to do with your methods of your marketing. You mentioned Instagram. What do you have an idea of what type of advertising, or what specifically would you do using that as an outlet?
Well, I feel examples of different shirts I've made in the past would most definitely be a good marketing strategy. Um, Kind of like, have you seen those pages of different nails when you're looking at nails? I feel like I would do the same thing, but with t-shirts, and like saying this design was made for this purpose or that design. So I feel like I would do something similar to that.
Okay, thank you. Good presentation.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mariah. I think that everyone's going to want to have one of those Miss Fashionetta t-shirts that you that was super cute.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and we
All right, so my name is Liana Dinweed. I am a sophomore at Liberty High School, and I'm presenting today Liana's Pick Me Up box. This box is for kids in the Children's Hospital who are suffering from many illnesses. Um, and this box just provides that comfort and joy that they need to get through the day. Okay. What is the Pick Me Up box? Well, glad you asked. Liana's Pick Me Up box is a special box filled with warm hugs, a toy fidget to help them keep calm, an activity book to challenge your mind, and a pencil to erase the mistakes and try again. I really wanted to put things in this box that would help them in many different ways, not just to bring them joy, but to also challenge them to be better. Slide. Okay, so inside the box, there will be a pencil that has an encouraging message on it because they need some encouragement because they're going through a lot right now with if they have cancer, they have to go through chemo. And I just wanted to find something that will push them and give them hope. And the fidget is for just to take their mind away from the all that they're going through. And then the crossword puzzle is to challenge them, and they don't get to go to school as much as other kids do. So I chose to put this crossword puzzle in here because it'll challenge their minds and grow them. And then for the teddy bear, I wanted to give them something to have at all times because the doctors aren't always in their room, their parents aren't always in their room, but their bear will be there whenever they need a warm hug. Okay, so the prices page. The box will be around $20, and I chose to purchase everything in bulk because it would be cheaper and much easier to make the boxes and even make more boxes. So for a 10 pack of boxes, it'll be $44.99. For a 24 pack of bears, it'll be $53.99. For a 48 pack activity book, it'll be $14.99. For a 120 pack of fidgets, it'll be $19.99. For a 72 pack of pencils, it'll be $13.99. And for a 20 pack label, it'll be $5.38. And then for the color of the labels, it'll be $8.76. Now, cost per item individually is $1.50 for a box, $2.25 for a bear, 32 cents for the activity book, 17 cents for the fidget, 20 cents for the pencil, 27 cents for the label, and then 73 cents for the label coloring. And then the quantities would be one box, one bear, two activities book per box, two fidgets per box, one pencil, one label, and then the sheet coloring for the label. And I did all of my dividing and came up with and found that $20 would be the best price for the box so that I could make money as and be able to give them enough in the box. Okay. Oh, and then my cost to make a box is $5.93, and then my profit per box is $14.17. And then the who is it for? So in the future, I want to be a growth and development pediatrician. And so I love to find different ways that I can help and work with kids. So Liana's Pick Me Up box will be mainly targeted for kids in the children's hospital because they deserve something that will keep a smile on their face. They face many things throughout the day, And if I can find just a little something that will help them and bring them joy, then I will do it. And then although it mainly will be for children ages 3 to 10 in the children's hospital, anyone can purchase this box to brighten up their day because everybody faces things. Everybody goes through days that might not be the best. So they can purchase this box as well. And I know that everyone wants to have a little taste of their childhood again. So the things in the box can bring that back to them. And then the where they be purchased, the Honest Pick Me Up box will be on display in the local gift shops. Although I love websites are great. I just feel like their parents would want to just go downstairs and buy this for their kid because they want that immediate joy. They want to see a smile on their child's face because they go through so much throughout the day. And then my target hospitals is the St. Jude and the Children's Hospital because my target audience are mainly at these hospitals. And what's the meaning behind the Honest Pick Me Up box? Well, again, I want to in the future become a growth and development pediatrician. So I like to find things that work around them. So this box is created to help serve, bring joy, and just be that light at the end of the dark tunnel. And then also with the Bible verse on my box, it's Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. They might not have any hope sometimes anymore. And just by seeing that Bible verse on the box could be like, oh my goodness, God got me, so I can do it. And that's just what I want them to feel every day, that they can do it. They can get through what they go through, and there is hope, and they're going to be okay. And that's the Liana's picture box. And I thank you for listening. And do you have any questions?
Thank you so much. That was so wonderful and so touching. I'm going to ask you to go on and stop sharing your screen. And I'm going to remove the spotlight so that everyone can see you and you can see us. And I'm going to open the floor for questions from our judges.
Hi, Liana. I really liked your presentation, and I really do like the reasoning behind what you want to do. I do have a few questions. So I saw that you purchased everything in bulk, which is a very smart business move. But my question is, did you get assistance paying for those things, or did you pay for them and now you're kind of trying to offset those startup costs, or how did you fund basically purchasing all those items in bulk?
Okay, so that will be me, and I will be purchasing all of that, and then I will go and I'll be making my profit from like them. So the money that I get from selling the boxes will go back into remaking the boxes. And from the start, yes, I will be the one purchasing the stuff in bulk.
Okay. And then I also saw that you said you want to have your boxes displayed in the gift shop so it's easily accessible. How do you plan on getting these gift shops to put your boxes in their stores?
Well, of course, I would talk to whoever is in charge of these gift shops, and I will ask them if I can, and see if I can get these boxes in here. And I also share why I want the boxes in here because I feel like when you share your why, and when I share my passion for the box, that could really touch somebody. So I think that just by talking to whoever's in charge of these gift shops, I will talk to them and see if I can get my box into their shops.
Okay, and then my last question, actually two more. Do you plan on perhaps providing boxes with different items in them, say, and a parent wants to get it for their 18-year-old? And I know you did mention like everybody having a touch of childhood, but would you consider okay, let me put maybe some more age appropriate items in here, or even different items for different accessibility levels. Since these are children that are in the hospital, they might not be able to hold the pencil or play with the fidget, but they still, their parent or family member, or even themselves, really want this pick me up box. What is your plan for that?
Yes, that is definitely a plan because um, I want everybody to be able to experience this. Like, let me give you. So my grandma was in the hospital like a couple of days ago, and I made her a box that had stuff for her, and I took it to her in the hospital. So yes, I would love to put things that are accessible to all ages so that everyone can experience the box.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear about your grandmother. That actually goes into one of my one. Is your shirt that you're wearing, is that your business shirt?
Yes, let me raise it up. I was trying to set it up so that you guys could see it.
We could tell. This is really cute. And I also see the
Thank
boxes.
you.
I like that.
Thank you.
But
Thank
my other
you.
question I did have was this something that you just had a passion for, or did you unfortunately have somebody that was close to you that was in the hospital that made you want to start this business?
I've always had a passion to help people, and I love kids, and I've always wanted to work with them. So seeing them in hospitals, it just touches my heart, and I wanted to be able to bring them some joy because they deserve it. They really do. With all the testing that they go through every day, they deserve something that will brighten their day. And I really had a passion for it and I wanted to do it. And like I know this is for Miss Fashionetta, but this is definitely a business I want to start because I have this big passion for it and I know I can succeed in it. So yeah, it's definitely a passion.
Okay, thank you so much.
I have
Hi,
You're
a
welcome. Thank
Leona.
you.
Hi, Leona. I want to say, first of all, my fellow judge asked two of the questions that I was going to ask. So I'm going to say that I 110% appreciate your originality, your authenticity. I also appreciate your cost analysis and how you broke it down.
Mm.
I would buy a box. I will definitely buy a box. Why? Because hospitals are boring. And people are always wondering what could they do while they're waiting for their
Mhm.
loved one or the loved one sitting and waiting.
Yeah.
But that definitely can bring some joy. And I also want to say, I was going to ask the question about your shirt and your logo. It's phenomenal. It's catchy. I'm excited. I'm excited for you. I really
Thank
am.
you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. I
Mhm.
appreciate it.
I have a question.
Okay.
Leona,
Yes.
wonderful presentation, and I ditto everything everyone else has said. But I want to ask you about something that I think would be a challenge.
Okay.
One thing, when you were asked about where you would put the items and you wanted to put them into the gift stores, and
Mhm.
the response you gave was you would speak to the person in charge
Yeah.
of making those decisions. Um, Getting to the person who makes decisions and things like that
Yeah.
is never easy. And
Yeah.
that doesn't matter if you're trying to be the singer or you want to put something in someone's business. The one usually who's there selling at the cashier stand is not
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
one who makes that decision. I would compare it to when my husband and I started out with our food truck business, and before some of these rules were relaxed where you can place them in places more often and everywhere, you had to go to individuals to get permission to be able to put the trucks on their property. In the permitting portion of that, you had to have documentation from individuals nearby that you would have access to their bathroom facilities and things like that. And these were some of the things that slowed you down in the process of getting to where you want to be. So I say that to say, how do you have ideas about how you would get to that decision-making person so that you could get this wonderful item, because I agree it's awesome, in their gift shop?
Yes, I would start, I think I would start maybe with like something smaller, like a small business. And I would always first contact him because anything can happen. And I'm a strong believer in God, so he be doing it. So I would really start with them, and then but I would also have this side business that the parents can access and get to purchase the box. And then once I get cleared and get through all of the stuff I have to go through with getting it into the gift shop, then that's how I would further proceed with what I'm going to do.
And I think something like that is a good idea because you're gonna need to show that if you get to that person, because that's what I'm saying. It's a challenge sometimes getting that call back from that person, getting to them. So if and when you get to them, you want to be able to show them, hey, look, this is working on.
Yeah.
Have some parents here who like this, and this is going to be a great addition to your gift shop. So that's something to think about, because that can be something that might be just a bump in the road. So always want to think about that. Sometimes those kind of variables makes it difficult to get to the next step. But it's an awesome idea, and it's a touching idea. And so sometimes those things will help you along the way. And because you won't be able to always see that person, something like what you have, your presentation, and some kind of condensed version of that can be left there. And when that owner just happens to see it, and then God touches them, like you said, then they'll say, I think I want to get in touch with this young lady who has picked me up. So remember that. But when you come to that point, don't be discouraged. You got it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I was gonna just dovetail into the last comment. A lot of these gift shops that are in hospitals are they're either a part of the hospital, or it might be a chain, right? It's a company that's their business, is they have gift shops in lots of hospitals in many locations. And so it might be that you have to talk with their headquarters, and they may be very particular about the items that they sell in their stores. So my question to you is this: in regards to competition, since you mentioned those two hospitals that are here in Bakersfield, and knowing that this is truly something that God has placed on your heart to do, have you gone into the gift shops in those hospitals? And do you know, are they selling anything currently that's similar to your product?
I have been to the gift shops. The only things that I've seen are bears. That's like the only thing that is similar to what I'm doing. So I think that my box can really get in there because it's more than just a bear. It's a activity book, it's a pencil, it's a toy, and then it's also a bear. So I think that there are some similar things in the hospitals that are close to my box.
I have another question. Um, One thing that I do really like about your product is because it is so targeted to kids. I feel like most times in these gift shops, like you said, it might just be a bear, where there's times where a kid in the hospital might have like flowers or like a glass figurine. And it's like, I'm four. I don't want a glass dolphin to make me feel better. But a question I had was, would you maybe consider, I was trying to wait till the end just in case someone asked it, to like if you already thought of this, but I really do like your idea, and I really do see this like helping a lot of kids, but possibly setting up like when you start your business up and have your page and a website where, like Adonica said, she would want to purchase a box, and she might not have someone to directly purchase it for, but people can go on your site and just leave like anonymous donations, to where then if you are ever in the hospital, it's like, or if you set up a program, a parent might want a box, but they only have 10 out of the 20, I think it was, dollars. So I just, as this business continues to grow, which I do think that it will, that's something to, keep in mind.
Okay.
Yeah, people
Thank you.
sponsoring a box for someone else. That's a
I
great
love
idea.
that.
Yeah, like
I'm
a
gonna write
sponsor.
that.
I have a quick question. In addition to being able to reach the person to get into the gift shop, most times they will also charge a fee. So have you thought about what you are willing to give up from that profit, either per box or on a monthly basis?
Mhm.
So wait, can you say that one more time? I'm trying to put it together in my head.
Sure. So you go in, they're going to let you put it in. We're putting that in
Yeah.
the atmosphere. You've gotten
Oh,
in
I know.
touch with the, but they're saying, sure,
Mhm.
but we charge a fee in order to carry your product. So have you given thought to, had you given thought to the fact that there may be a fee? And if so, how much would you be willing to pay for them to carry your box?
So I have not given thought to that, but that's a good point. And I don't, so before this was, I didn't know that we had to make a business that was for profit, because I would have been willing to just give these boxes out because I don't want to make their parents pay because they already have all these hospital bills that are piling up. So I would be willing to pay that fee because if I can do it and do something for them, then I'm gonna do it. And so I would be willing to pay the fee because I know exactly what you're talking about with the fee, and because my family had to do a fee like that too, so I know exactly what you're talking about, and I would be willing to pay the fee, and I would figure out however much they ask me to pay. I would figure it out because they deserve this. They really do.
All
Right.
righty.
I read your lips, Adonica. I feel like I'm getting teary eyed too. It's very sweet.
Well,
Hello, my name is Milana McClanahan, and I'll be presenting to you my slideshow promoting Soulful Steps Women's Wide Shoes. This is just a little table of contents to let you guys know what we'll be talking about today. We'll be going over about me and intro, overview and business plan, statistics, strategies and goals, product and price, place, and then wrap it up. So my name is Milana McClanahan. I am a sophomore at Liberty High School. I am the owner of Soulful Steps. I would like to attend Spelman College to study biology and zoology. I plan to become a veterinarian, and I eventually want to start my own business and become a traveling veterinarian for celebrities. So you may be wondering, Milana, why did you pick wide shoes if you want to become a veterinarian? Well, let me tell you. Comfort is really important to me. If you're not comfortable, how are you supposed to get anything done? If I'm uncomfortable in the shoes I'm wearing as a veterinarian, how will I be able to focus on taking care of the pets? So, question, does anyone like to wear uncomfortable shoes? Put thumbs up or thumbs down. Oh, can't see, but okay. Well, I sure don't, and neither do people with wide feet. Many shoe brands offer specific styles and wide width options. These options can include either a wide or a W to ensure better fit. Even though these companies say that the products are for wide feet, it doesn't mean that it will fit your feet. My brand is specifically for people with wide feet. Our shoes are cute and fashionable with a cool vibe, but will also provide space and fit securely. Soulful Step takes pride in trying to make sure women, no matter of the age, feel stylish but also comfortable. The goal of Soulful Steps is to make customers happy by providing wide shoe options. Soulful Step ensures that women with wider foot size can find stylish and comfortable shoes. I have wide feet, and it's a struggle to shop for shoes because most women's shoes do not come in wider width. I feel it's very important for somebody to feel confident in anything they're doing or wearing. Soulful Step envisions normalizing the ability of women to find wide shoes. Having wide feet is completely normal, and Soulful Step strives to create an option for shoppers who prefer to buy something other than the stereotypical one size fits most. So, statistics, over 50% of women in America have wide feet. This means that having wide feet is nothing new and it's not rare. Feet can change over time. Even if a person may have slender feet when they're younger, they can actually widen due to sports, work, or health conditions. Obesity, heart failure, and pregnancy can also lead to change in foot shape and size. Strategies and goals. High quality footwear. We take pride in making sure the shoes are at the best they can be. This is why we use high quality materials, not only where your shoes look comfortable, but you also feel comfortable. Inclusivity. We make sure that our shoes cater to all wide feet. Whether your foot is related to bunions, edema, or age, there will always be a place for your feet at Soulful Step. Comfortable yet stylish. My shoe brand is all about comfort and style. The shoes are designed with extra cushioning support to keep your feet happy all day long. Plus, they come in trendy designs and colors that will make your feet to make you confident and fashionable. So another question, does high quality, inclusivity, and comfortable yet stylish sound like a good characteristic of a shoe? Thumbs up or down? I wish I could see. I can't. Okay. So these shoes are reasonably priced, but not my style. I would not wear these to school, so I think that this is why I added these on my slides. Now, these shoes are cute. I would definitely wear these, but look at that price. That is not something I'm willing to spend my allowance on for, especially at that price. So these are my products. These are three shoes are from highly trusted manufacturers who have great reviews. The first shoe is called Confidence. These shoes are absolutely irresistible with their trendy and stylish design. They'll have everyone turning heads. Get ready to step up your shoe game and feel confident in every stride. These next shoes are called I Am Her. You're seriously that girl. They are stylish and on trend. Anyone would be dying to have a pair. Plus, they're designed to be inclusive, so they're perfect for people of all ages and sizes. These third ones are called Influencer. Be the talk of the town in a good way. They're perfect for that new and improved style you're after. Whether you're a teen or adult, you won't be able to resist adding them to your collection. Trust me. Now, here's the fun part, price. So these first ones, Confidence, are $6.45. This does include shipping from the manufacturer, which is a really good price, I think. Adding the shipping through USPS, it would be $20.13. I would sell these for $37.99, making an $11.41 profit. Next, we have, next we have Confidence. Sorry, the first ones are I Am Her. Next, we have Confidence. These are $8.15 from the manufacturer. Adding the USPS total would be $21.80. And the selling price would be $41.36, and I would make a $11.41 profit. These last ones, Influencer, are $9.95. I would the shipping through USPS total is $23.63, and I would sell them for $44.99, making $11.41 profit. All shoes will range in between women's size 7 through 14. So say that I got 50 shoes times the 8 sizes, that would be 400 shoes each design. So for I Am Her, 400 shoes times $6.45 equals $2,580. 400 shoes in Confidence times $8.15 equals $3,260. And Influencer, $400 per shoe time 400 shoes per size times $9.95 equals $3,980. So in total, it would equal $9,820. I would sell my shoes online. I feel like online is the best option for a small business just opening up because it's not as expensive as opening up a storefront. And it also gives a chance for customers to like your products before opening up a storefront in your area. I eventually would like to open up a storefront just because I think that trying on the shoes in person would be more effective than ordering it online. The use of social media can also be a great way to expand my business. Social media is a great way to keep up with the trends, and it's also a great way to keep up my business image. It would help me see if I have any potential customers, and a great way to set up polls to see if people would prefer one shoe compared to the other, just so that I'm not wasting money on product that people may not purchase. Starting small, I plan to use my own savings to have my samples made to test the design, but I intend to take pre-orders, which will allow me to show what I need manufactured. I then will collect money from customers and place the orders with those funds. In the meantime, apply for grants and look for programs that help to fund young entrepreneurs. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was great. Do me a favor and please stop sharing your screen so that we can see you. And then I am going to remove the spotlight so that you can see us.
Okay.
Here, and I'm going to open the floor to our judges with questions. Cheyenne, I'm going to unmute you.
Sorry. Yeah, I see now. I was saying, I really enjoyed your presentation. I can see that you really thought through all the different things as far as shipping, prices, all of that. And I know you said that as far as the startup costs go, you'll be pulling from your savings. Are you referring to the 9,000 you will pull? Do you plan on like purchasing it all at once, the whole 9,000 for the different sizes and styles of the 3 shoes? Or did you plan on spacing it out, or is that what you were discussing for the pre-orders?
So I was planning on posting it on social media. Like I was saying, would be like a great way to see if potential customers would like to buy the product. But I see, okay, so, I would use my money, my like savings to purchase the shoes and see if the product it would be popular and which ones that are good sellers and which ones are not. And if they aren't, then I would discontinue them and see if people would like to purchase a different style of shoe. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
So I think
I have a follow-up question to that, to Cheyenne's question. You said you would use your savings to purchase the shoes. Are you planning on buying $9,000 worth of shoes? Are you buying a few prototypes to see, or like what is your plan? Because are you planning on just going head first and say these shoes are amazing, you feel that they're amazing and you think they're going to sell, or are you going to, like, what are your thought processes around that?
I think that I would like to purchase them, just like one to see if it's good quality. But coming from like these shoes came from Alibaba, which is like where people can sell big portions of things. So it wouldn't be possible for me to just purchase one. I would have to purchase like a big portion of it.
Okay, and then looking at your profit margin, do you think that profit margin of $11 will equate to you making your $9,000 back? Have you figured out how many shoes you would have to sell if you're not really sure if it will sell? Have you thought about that?
Yes. So my profit, if I sell all the 12,000 shoes in total, then 1,200 shoes in total, then I would be making over $40,000, which is more than the price. But the $11.41 is minus the original price of the shoe per pair. So say like for I Am Her, it's $8.15. And I'm selling them for $39.99. That would originally be $18 or somewhere around that. But once I subtract the original price from me purchasing it from the manufacturer, then I would be making my profit, and I would also have money to repurchase those shoes again.
I have another question. In the total price that you advertise, do you plan on, does that include the shipping cost that I saw you list, or do you plan on like, this is gonna be your cost, and then like when we shop for something, it might, we see the price, but then we know at the end, we'll have to pay for shipping?
Um, I that would be like the total of the whole shoe,
Okay.
and I didn't think about this one, but that's a great question.
Okay.
Well, I have one. Kind of goes in that same area with something like shoes. What if I select the wrong size or that particular fit doesn't work for me? What would be your method of return? Would there be a cost to me for return, and what would be your exchange policy? And how do you think that would affect your profits, or have you factored that in?
I would probably do like a 30-day return policy, because I think once you purchase the shoe and you like look at maybe like an email that might be sent to you and you see the size, then you would know that you purchased the wrong size. But if you don't, then I think for you to be able to try on a shoe to see if like maybe you got the right size but you didn't know if it'll fit, then I would be able to send it to you back. But I did not think about like how it would affect me money wise for me to send it back to you.
Okay, and then I have one other question. You indicated that the marketplace where you would purchase the shoes, there's you have to buy in large quantities. Do you know what the minimum number of shoes you would have to buy? What's the minimum quantity in terms of what you would have to purchase?
The minimum is 50 and the maximum is 500. So I thought to start small, I should just do 50 because it is new and I wouldn't know if people would purchase the shoes.
Okay, so that kind of helps something that I wasn't clear on. I wasn't clear as to whether the example you showed us where you had the 400 for each, if that's what you plan to start out with. So am I understanding you correctly to now say that you would be starting out at a lower number?
So the 50, if I purchase 50 shoes from the manufacturer, it would be 50 in each size. So 50, and then I would be having my sizes 7 through 14. So that would be 8 sizes. 50 times 8 is 400 shoes each design.
Okay, so you would be thinking in terms of the 400.
Yes.
Okay.
I have another question. Have you potentially considered, I don't know if Alibaba offers this or if there may be a similar site that offers drop shipping, whereas like, are you familiar with drop shipping?
No.
So it's basically where, say I want to place an order through you and I say, I am her in a size 10. Instead of it, I placed the order through you still, but instead of you going in your inventory, your warehouse, and pulling the size 10 and then shipping it to me, say we use Alibaba, for example, you let them know, hey, I have an order that's being drop shipped through you guys, and I pay you, and then you basically pay their drop shipping fee, which is like an extra fee on top of the cost of the shoe, and then they ship it directly to me. That way to cut out some of the like cost of having to purchase so many shoes at once, because I know you said you would like to eventually have your storefront where you have all the sizes for people to try on, because of course, you know, most people do want to try on their shoes, especially if it's a specialty fit. But have you explored any options to maybe while you're still getting to that point as other things that you could do to not have to come out of so much money in the beginning?
That's also a great question. So I don't think, well, with Alibaba, you have to purchase it in large quantities. And so I wouldn't assume, I don't want to assume, but I don't think that you can do that just because like it's kind of like a one and done kind of thing. So once you purchase the 400 shoes, then you have to wait for the 400 shoes to be delivered and all that stuff. And it's not guaranteed that it will be packaged like individually. I'm pretty sure that they would have like big packages where they just put all the shoes in it and then they deliver it to the seller or the buyer. In this case would be me. And so I don't think that they would do that. But if I did find another website that sells shoes that look like the ones I would like to sell, then I would assume yes. I don't know. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Well, the good thing is, and I think that anyone who's in business knows this, that everything is open for negotiation, right? And so, the hope would be that if you find something that a product that you feel is going to work for your brand, right? And you order a sample, and that sample comes and you walk around in that shoe for a couple, week or days or whatever it is to know that it's right for your brand, then you would, hopefully be able to negotiate, as a new business owner, some sort of deal with that company that might work. I think that Cheyenne's recommendation of doing drop shipping or finding a company that would be willing to drop ship is realistic, right? Because a $9,000 investment is a lot. It would be a lot for us, right? To invest $9,000 on something that may or may not stick, right? So one product, maybe the best shoe, the favorite shoe might be the one that you try. But I'm curious, you talked about, I love the little mock-up that you did. I think it was an Instagram page showing your 3 shoe types.
Yes.
What are some other ways that you would connect with women who have wide feet? Did you think about that?
Some other ways I did not think about that. Do you have any examples of what you mean like by other ways?
Well, so, I guess one way might be influencer marketing. Like maybe there's someone out there who's very popular, right? Who has said, I have wide feet and I have a hard time finding wonderful shoes, right? And so you might, a lot of companies will use, it's called influencer marketing. They'll use an influencer to wear their product to help to generate sales and to build awareness. So that's one sales tactic that you could use. So that's an example.
I'm not sure.
But no, but I'm going to say this, it's great because a lot of times people go into business, they make products because it solves a problem a problem or pain point that they have personally, right? And so you have identified this is something that, is very personal to you. And so if it's personal to you, you're not the only person, right? Living with this. Definitely not the only, young woman that's dealing with it. And so, I applaud you for, it's a difficult product that you selected, right? Not one that would be easy for a teenager to do alone, even for an adult to do alone, but it's a great idea. And that's what businesses start with. So kudos to you for that.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from our judges?
I just want to say, yeah, I want to ditto what Miss Erica said, and you did a good presentation, and it is something that definitely you alluded to this, and I agree. When those feet hurt, it kind of makes everything else go down the drain for the day. So absolutely, there's a market out there. challenge would be finding that market. But when you do, and if they like that shoe, I can see this being a very, very successful business. So thank you for sharing your great idea with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to say the same thing. That is really an area, especially when it comes to feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have to protect our feet and comfort at all costs. And again, I'll reiterate with what Miss Erica said and what Miss Holly said. And I appreciate the clarifying questions that my fellow judges asked also. And if this is something you really want to pursue, then I would definitely take into consideration some of the things that Miss Cheyenne asked you and the follow-ups that Miss Holly and Miss Erica asked you as well, because it is possible. You can definitely do it, but you're gonna have to do a little bit more, dig in and do some research and really look at your bottom line and your cost and what's the best way to get that out for your audience, because that's something is a problem, and you do have a solution in mind. So I want to encourage you to keep moving forward if this is something you really want to pursue at some point.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All righty.